Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kira Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kira, and you guys, you are in for the best treat of your life, Consultant Takeover. That's right. Get ready. They are dropping some dynamite. Our consulting team is incredible, guys, and we are so blessed and so fortunate to have them sharing tips and tricks with you today. And as always, thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time on the Dental Team Podcast.
All right, Dana, you just taught me the funnest name I think our company has ever come up with. If you don't know this already, if it's never been stated, we change product names on Dana constantly. Dana does a lot, all the consultants, so you know, create all the content and everything that we use as a company. Dana does a lot of content creation behind the scenes and a lot of branding for us. And inevitably she'll get like 90% through, or a couple times it's been 100% through, and we're like, actually, we're going to call it this. So we love you for that. We love that you're so easy in that aspect and that you don't make us feel like we can't change things. But I just learned the real name, the newest name, which I should have known because, yes, I do work here, but I did not retain it. That's totally fine. Of our 90-day operations manual creation
course.
Got it. Yes, I love it. We call it OMC. So in my head, I'm just like, OMC. But I thought it was really cool. It actually is like, it makes sense because we're completing it in 90 days, and you work with our clients all the time on tips and tricks and doing this. And you actually write once a week for 90 days, you guys meet every Thursday, and you implement things. So you even have within there, you're like, okay, guys, we're taking 5 minutes to do how-tos or whatever, right?
Yep. Yeah.
You guys can tell I frequent it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. I love it. I do love that course. The reason I speak on that course today is because I really wanted to chat with Dana. You guys know I handpick my consultants for my topics very often. And Dana's our pro when it comes to this because she runs this course all the time. Britt definitely helps her a ton with it. But as you can tell, I don't frequent it all the time. I'm usually on calls or in office. So Dana, thank you so much for all of the freaking work that you put into that. Creating the content, getting people there, showing up every single week to ensure that they get it done. Thank you. Massive kudos for you. And the reason I bring it up today is because I want to talk about hiring some more. We've been on a hiring kick recently, and I want to talk about hiring more. And I want to talk about how you can utilize your core values to hire. And I think it's a concept that we've talked about for a long time, but I don't think everybody's talking about this. The reason it's important, and it goes back to our 90-day operations manual creation, is because you're creating core values in that course with them, right? You're doing core values, mission, vision, all of those pieces before you get into the nitty-gritty how-tos. So Dana, I thought, gosh, you've probably been helping your clients hire using these forever because it's second nature to you at this point. Yeah. What do you feel like, Dana, I have two questions to start with. So what is the biggest hurdle to get over in creating core values and then using them? And what do you think is the biggest success you've seen in using hiring or using core values to hire? Like, why do we say that? What's the hurdle to get there? And then why do we say it works so well?
Yeah. And I think for most people, the hurdle is, well, I want all the things, right?
Yeah.
Like I want integrity and I want honesty and I want, reliability and I want all of the pieces. And so it's really just honing it down into like those top 5 to 7 qualities that like it is make or break. You have to possess them. You have to live them. You have to align with them day in and day out.
Yeah. I love that. And I think implementation wise, I think a lot of companies or organizations don't involve even a leadership team in creating these. And I think that happens a lot with doctors. And I understand it because you're the business owner, right? You're like, this is why I went into dentistry. This is why I own my own business, is because I want it to be this. But I think we don't always get the buy-in from our team on those core values because we're telling them how to be. So I think that's something you actually do super well with the course and with your clients, is really honing in on how to create them with at least the leadership team or the office manager and the doctor. Like, you get someone at least buying into it and helping you to create it so that it translates, I think is the best word I can figure out there. Like, it translates to the team and then is usable. Because I'm sure, Dana, you've probably seen a lot of practices. Well, I walk in practices all the time. I walk in and I'm like, what are your core values? And they're like, reading the wall. I'm like, oh, come on, guys. Like, so, there's a lot of practices that don't know them or use them. And how do you think it benefits hiring? Because those people didn't create them, right? They didn't create these core values. So now you're hiring people, expecting them to onboard onto these core values. But what's the difference in hiring without core values then and utilizing those core values to hire those people?
Yeah. And I think it'll be the difference in who you choose, who applies, what you get to know about them. I think when you use your core values to hire, then you're already drawing those candidates that possess those things from the beginning. So when they walk in, no, maybe they weren't part of creating it. Maybe they didn't get that buy-in, right, during creation time or during defining them, but they already know that they align with them because you've talked about them before they're even a part of the team. You've used it as a way to navigate which candidates will fit better with your team, with your practice, with your patients.
I love that. I think you're totally right. And I think so, right, using your core values, I think there's a couple different ways. And I would say, I know we're going to do one, there'll be a podcast on how to write ads too, but this kind of goes into that because I think you're going to use your core values even in your job ad because you really want somebody who resonates with your core values already. I think one of the struggles that practices face is hiring people and then being like, gosh, I really wish they had more integrity. How do I train them to have more integrity? I really wish they had more ownership. How do I train them? We get calls all the time. They're like, Dana, how do I fix this person that I just hired? She's totally opposite of our core values. And I was like, well, that's good luck. Like, that's going to take some training. That's going to take some, not even dental training. Like, that's personality. That's human being. That's training and growth development outside. So if you're not attracting those people, you're actually causing yourself more work. So if we can attract the person who resonates with those, they see them on the ad and they're like, heck yeah, like I would love to work in a company that has ownership as a core value, because I don't want to be the only one, right? Who here has been the person in the project group that's like, oh, my parts are done. Oh, let me pick up your pieces because I'm not going to fail this project. Like, we need to get an A on this. So I'm going to just pick up all the pieces. It happens in business. It happens every day. Life is life. So I think when you see that, if I were looking at an ad, I would be like, heck yeah, I want a company who knows how to own their stuff. I want a company who says, you know what, we trained you, but you know what, we missed this. I want a company who's like, this is how we're going to do it. And if you think it can be done better, let's do it, because I can own that and respect it. So I think that piece and really just being able to hone in, it also goes back to the podcast we recorded on avatar, because I think if you listen to that and you've been working on your avatar, like, look at your core values and how can that character match up to your core values for that position as well. Dana, how do you feel like hiring has gone, maybe even for our company, like your opinion, right? We use our core values to hire. We live and breathe our core values. It is something that's massive in our company and something we've been really determined on from the first day of Kira, creating these and she and I working on them. How do you feel like it's changed the game for us, even as a company, utilizing our core values to hire?
I think a ton. I think it helps us assess candidates because we know, hey, these are the pieces that we're really, really looking for. It helps us identify them really quickly. And then also it helps the candidates know coming in, hey, these are the core values. These are the like pieces and parts of me that I also need to let shine throughout the process. And I need to make sure that I'm aligning myself with them as I go through the hiring process. Same thing as the hirer, right? Like making sure that, hey, if follow through is huge for us and we ask them to send references, if they do, right, that's follow through. If they don't, then maybe they just aren't the best fit, because we know that's going to be super important to us.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Now, hiring is not, I'm not going to sugarcoat it right now in this day and age where I don't know what year you're listening to this podcast, but where we are today in 2024, it is not an easy task to hire right now. So, Dana, what do you suggest to those companies and those practices that are desperately trying to fill spots and they're getting people who maybe don't super align and they're like, they kind of do, they kind of don't? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And that's a loaded question.
It is. But I think really trying, I know we're going to talk about writing ads. I know we really talked about our avatar in a previous podcast, but I think it is really knowing what it is that you want in that person to be successful and not necessarily being willing to settle, being willing to look at other avenues until you find the right person. Maybe you shift roles with who you have in the practice currently. Maybe you outsource some things. Maybe you have somebody answer your phone calls, but that you are hiring for personality, because I think oftentimes we look for experience, and experience can be great, but if it's not the right experience with the right person attached, honestly, it's just not going to matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's beautiful. And I think when we get in the moment, when we're the ones that are like, I just can't hire, I'm going to hire whoever I can, it's easy for us to forget about those pieces. But maybe like putting it into perspective would be like going to Chick-fil-A. Everybody knows Chick-fil-A, right? I went to Chick-fil-A once and I don't remember where I was. I was out of state somewhere at a practice, and Chick-fil-A is like my go-to because it's, easy as a pleasurable experience, right? So I'm going through the drive-through and I said, thank you. And they said, oh, you're welcome, pull up. And I literally was like, where am I right now? And I thought, did you go through the training? But I felt like that, like, because, Chick-fil-A, it should be my pleasure, right? Like my pleasure. It's their culture. That is their culture. And their culture is derived by their core values, their mission, and their vision statement. They have done an exceptional job creating that. But I guarantee you, majority of the Chick-fil-A's, potentially not this one, is hiring for personality too. Like they pay well, they treat their employees really well. They get every Sunday off. Like they have all of these pieces in place, and they have extensive training and exceptional training. But I'm sure that they're hiring for personality too. So when I had that experience, I was so thrown off. I was like, what the heck? I literally had to second take, like, am I at the right place? I thought I was at Chick-fil-A, and it stuck with me. This was years ago, this was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and this has stuck with me. Yeah. So I think of that instance when I think of hiring out of desperation, because I think that to me was a tick mark for Chick-fil-A, which is crazy, right? Like they're so exceptional, but it stuck with me. So what's happening for the patients who are coming through the door that are expecting a certain presence, a certain energy? They're expecting your culture and your core values, and they're met with something that's a stark difference. Is that worth plug and playing for that position? Or like Dana said, is there something that we can do to shift things around in the interim until we find the right person? I think that's smart, Dana. I do have to make a caveat. Like I've got some spots in the country like that are really struggling with hiring. And sometimes I'm like, you know what, like, let's give it a go, but be quick to know that it's not a good fit, and be quick to let that go if it's not sliding in and fitting easily. Or if it's just like, I've had some practices. I have one particular that I love. I've been working with her for years, and she's this incredible human. She's just had another baby. She's on maternity leave, and I just love her. She's out in Maryland, in Baltimore area. And she's like, it's a struggle hiring out there right now, but she's gotten really good at seeing the potential in people and being like, okay, I think I can do this. I think we can work with it. But then when it's not working and it's rubbing the team wrong, or the patients are getting a different experience, she's really good at being like, you know what, actually, I don't think this is the best fit, and I don't know if it's us or you, but like, let's try this out. And then like, it's not working, and really being diligent about that. So your core values, if you don't know them, if you're not living and breathing them, instill that in your culture first and foremost. And then hire people who are attracted to your culture and your core values, because life is so much easier. Like Dana came in at a time when our company really knew what our culture, we've always known what we wanted our culture to be, but we figured it out. We figured out how to live it. And I think even, gosh, Dana, you've helped us accelerate that. Everyone who's come on, has helped us accelerate that. But I think we found you with the right core values and culture, because we knew what we wanted, and we knew, Dana, you fit those values for us, and we knew you would slide in and be just this exceptional culture fit for not only us, but for our clients. And the consulting that you've been able to do, and the culture that you spread to all of your clients because of just who you are as a human, it speaks volumes, I think, on this subject, because we figured that out. And Dana, I think you could probably speak to that, right? Like, coming in on the core values, did that make a big difference for you? Do you feel like
it did? And it made, like, right now, right, as where we're kind of in this, it's like the candidates world, it actually really too with me resonated as like, this is a place that I want to be. And I know that if given the chance, I can go in and thrive. Like, I can go in and I can work really hard and I can put my head down, but that this is an atmosphere that I can thrive in. And I feel like, yes, core values absolutely help you in finding your right candidates. But oftentimes we hear, right, I'm just looking for my dental home. I'm looking for that place where, like, I just know I'm going to go in and I'm going to love and I'm going to thrive. And this also helps candidates to weed themselves out as far as like, no, I don't think that's a place I'm going to be successful, or absolutely, I cannot wait to get my resume into them too. And I do think that on my end, coming into somebody who had very clear culture, it set very clear expectations of how I can win, be successful, and really contribute. And so I think, it worked out really great for the dental A team. It also just really worked out great for me as like coming in as a new team member.
I love that. And I hope Kara listens to all of these, but I hope she gets to take that home, because she's a huge piece of our culture. Like, she is our leader, and she is the person who has created all of this. We get to be by her side doing it, and it's been so much fun. But I love that. Thank you, Dana, for speaking to that. I hope you guys can see how that can resonate for you too, because I do think the people that we've brought on, the team members that we've added to our company since really honing in on these core values and getting really good at them, making them a part of our everyday culture, has changed the momentum for our company. And I know it can do the same for you guys too, if you get really clear on them. So reach out to us if you need help developing these. I told you we've got our 90-day operations manual creation. I wrote it down. Dana does all the time. So that's definitely something that's available to everyone. It's something that we do constantly. If you want more information on it, please reach out. She does help you guys go through those core values. We also help our clients do it. And you guys, just reach out. hello@thedentalateam.com. Whether you're a client or not a client, we love helping you guys. We love answering your questions. We love helping to steer you in the right directions. And we're here to do those things for you and with you. So please reach out. You guys, drop us a 5-star review if you felt like this was super helpful. Those are your action items. Get your core values in line. Let's figure those out. Look at how you can utilize those for hiring and how you can integrate it more into your practice, and freaking leave us a 5-star review because you love us. This was an awesome podcast, Dana. I really had so much fun doing this, and I hope you guys take so much away from this and really see how you can take what we've done and what we've churned through in our company. We love using our examples of things, that bridges we've crossed and walls we've broken down, and those pieces that we've worked really hard to create so that we can make your lives easier. We want to share all of those things with you. So let us know how it works for you. Let us know if there's more information you need. Dana, thank you for always allowing me to ask you any questions and being open and vulnerable and honest and coming with loads of information. I love doing these with you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I always have fun.
I know. I'm always like, okay, I need more podcasts. Dana. She loves it. I love it. Awesome. All right, guys, go do the things. Go kill it. Go hire the best person. And let us know what you thought of this. We can't wait to hear from you.
And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.